I really have enjoyed Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but there are still some things that I think are missing and could have improved the experience dramatically. I won't be touching on any performance issues as they're already so publicized, but to start off this list, a phone system for the trainers. If you've played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you'll probably know what I'm referring to. The feature is still etched into my brain as one of the coolest features in a Pokemon game. Essentially, trainers will call you sporadically throughout your journey, offering a rematch. The system was completely optional, and you could decide whether to register a trainer or not, and whether to facilitate that rematch. There was even running commentary from some of the trainers. The classic example is youngster Joey almost caught that Pidgey, but it ran away last second. It might not have been a Pidgey, I can't quite remember. But it was just one of those features that went the extra mile, and having this continuous dialogue with the trainer made the world feel much more immersive, and you didn't feel like the only trainer to have some sort of goal or personality. But right now in Scarlet and Violet, I really don't appreciate the wandering trainers. I skip most of them. They're so obviously clickbaiting us, like some of their preemptive texts. And they talk about some pretty random things, and their teams usually only consist of one or two Pokemon, and once you defeat them, they're virtually doormat statues all across the land. I guess you could say that's not really different from any other game, but I feel like there was certainly the potential for the wandering trainers to have a much more significant role. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, there was only a select amount of trainers who actually would offer to be registered, and I feel like they could have at least added the feature to the wandering school students, considering we have an actual Rotom phone that should be capable of making calls. And I think it would just be appreciated if we could have some more serious rematches and further interactions, because the teachers are involved through the side quests, but aside from Arvin and Nimona, none of the students really talk to us or are at all memorable. And for how many students there are, where are the competitors? Where are the Richies? I've spoke about it before, but I really just wanted to have battles against students in the schoolyard. But I guess I have to get Nintendo Switch Online to make that a reality. There's not only a ton of students, there's a ton of items. There are so many items. I remember watching people's hopes for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and it was often mentioned how they wanted to be rewarded for exploring in an open world game, and items could be scattered around for people who explore beyond the path. And Game Freak did do that, but they also put a ton of items on the traditional path, and I'm honestly just confused why there are so many items. In no other Pokemon game has there been this many items, probably not even within a tenth of how many there are in Scarlet and Violet. And I think there's just too many at the moment. In previous games, you had a lot of money, excess money anyway, and with this many items, it only exemplifies that. And I just truly don't know why there are still so many items. At least they serve as a bit of a guide to where you have and haven't been. Number 3 is the absence of key settings that would have made the game harder. There is no set mode option or ability to turn off the EXP share, and another setting that isn't actually included in any game, but I really wanted the anime thing, where you have to only enter as many as the gym leader enters. I think it would just be cool to have the gym official tell you how many Pokemon they're using, and then you can make thoughtful decisions from your team of 6. And there were also some inconsistently implemented features. I thought you can terrestrialize at each of the Elite 4 members, even though your Terrible Orb isn't recharged by the Pokemon Center. Same goes with the Titan Pokemon. In each of their 2 or in one of them 3 stages, you can terrestrialize. Your Pokemon are healed in between by Arvin, but I don't really know where the window for that was. While Pokemon games aren't intended to be super challenging, I do believe difficulty should be customizable depending on the individual. I still don't really grasp why there isn't a simple option at the start of the game to decipher the appropriate difficulty, asking if this is your first Pokemon adventure or not. But I guess it's the dev's choice at the end of the day. Number 4 was not having hallways in the school. Instead, there are just elevators everywhere. I wanted to walk through the hallways. Number 5 for missed opportunities is not having a Gary-like rival. Now, don't get me wrong, Nemona is a very good rival, one of the best in the last few games. But I was thinking the other day, a rival that starts the journey at the same time and is always ahead of you, I think would have worked well for the open world setting, as Nemona acts more of a guide as she's already the champion ranked trainer herself. Again, she's still a good rival, but I think this could have added more motivation to doing the gym test to get ahead of this Gary-like person. Number 6, and maybe the biggest and most affecting, is not taking the opportunity to continue on from Legends' merry way, and including their beloved mechanics. I spoke about this as well in my early thoughts video, but it was almost deflating not being able to move in battle, and throwing the Pokeball was just so much more engaging and interactive. And being able to throw the Pokeball meant the player had the ultimate freedom whether to engage in battle or not, instead of just accidentally running into Pokemon. The mechanics would be something that sets Legends apart, and was very fitting for the time, but I think it uncovered the most enjoyable and ultimate mechanics. So to follow up in the next entry and not to include the mechanics, in my opinion, is a missed opportunity. Just letting you know, I will be doing a series of videos on Legends later this month, if you are interested. To finish off, I've got 4 that are a bit more outlandish, but I wish we could suffer the consequence for not winning a battle, and have the alternative unfold. A small spoiler here, but I lost to Clavel multiple times, and I want to see him go against the Team Star big boss, and he could probably do better than me. I think I lost at once, I think. As I said, these are very unrealistic, but many times in Pokemon I've wanted to see the alternative unfold, and I wish that could be the case. I also wish there was something else that goes on in Paldea, like some sort of festival or a completely unique thing about the region, because majority of the towns are very cool and unique, but there is little point to return to them after you have defeated their respective gym leader. In Sinnoh there was the contest, Gen 3 had like the secret bases, Gen 7 you had the festivals in Iki Town? No. How do you pronounce that word? Gen 6, it wasn't really the towns, but there was like the mini games, super training, and they had the Ami, if that's how you pronounce it as well. And I don't know, I guess Kanto and Johto had gambling, but some of the best games have like a unique thing that you could return to and do. And since there isn't necessarily side quests, well, I guess if you think about it, like the school, maybe the school is like the unique thing, but that doesn't really change the fact that I find Paldea to be pretty odd. Like, the people never seem to be that involved or like real residents. They're more acting like tourists. And to compare that to Legends, which is obviously completely different, there was only one town, but everything was connected. People had roles and opinions. Again, it's an unfair comparison because there was that connection with everyone having that unifying fear of Pokemon. But Paldea, it's just kind of nothing. People are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. So I just wish there was something else that like unified the people and something just unique. But I might be describing the school. Maybe the closest thing aside from the school was the auctions at Porto Morinda, which is a cool feature, admittedly, but I mean, I wish I could hear more of the history, because they hinted at being a more violent past, but no one really goes into any detail about that. And I guess in previous games, like the town music was another big reason to return. Obviously, here there isn't any town music, I believe, or there's just a standardized theme. But yeah, the people. Has anyone even been offered a trade by an NPC or got any sort of mission? Like, I remember that I saw this Reddit post that was like, nobody really cares about Pokemon much in Paldea. They just want to sell you food, which, I mean, looking at it, I can't disagree. Number 9 is the post game, and specifically Callus. Now, there are some rumors swirling around of a potential Callus DLC. Initially, I was not very confident. Like, it seemed like a huge effort to incorporate a whole new region. But I recently watched a Tyranitar tube video discussing the potential of this, and the link will be in this description. And after watching that, there's a lot that connects to Callus, whether it be the 2 kings or the 2 recently discovered stones, and I think it's just too good of an opportunity, as lots of people still love Callus and play X and Y to this day. And with there still being a few loose ends in X and Y, I maybe disagree that there's like so many significant ones, but we never got the traditional 3rd version, of course. And I've yet to finish Scarlet and Violet, but from what I've heard, there isn't really much of a post game after Area 0. So for how many units Scarlet and Violet has already sold, I think there's a high chance for Callus DLC coming, and if it didn't, I think I would consider that a missed opportunity. The last and least is not giving Squawkabilly a hero form and a different persona, and better stats to distinguish itself from all of the other puny birds. I couldn't think of a 10th one, but that's the list. So let me know what missed opportunities I missed, and do you agree with anything I said? And have a wonderful rest of the day.